They always told me Snapchat was safe, a place where messages disappear and nothing sticks around long enough to cause trouble. It was supposed to be my little corner of privacy, a way to connect without the risk. But what if that sense of safety is exactly what makes it so dangerous? I never thought a simple Snapchat message could turn my entire world upside down. The night I realized someone was watching me, not just through my phone, but from the shadows nearby, that's when everything changed. Suddenly, the app I trusted became a doorway to fear. Have you ever had that gut feeling? Like someone's right there, just beyond the screen, silently watching, waiting. It's a question that haunts me every day, and I'm still trying to understand what that means, for me, and for anyone who thinks they're truly safe behind a screen. Good evening, everyone. This is your host, AG Horrors, and welcome back to AG Horrorcast. Tonight, we're diving deep into 3 new disturbing true horror stories, tales that actually happened, or at least, that's what people claim. But one of them might not be exactly what it seems. Listen closely, and see if you can spot the story that doesn't quite add up. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe and follow, so you never miss a new chilling release. If you're enjoying the content, hit like, drop a comment, and share this video. Let's see how many of you truly love this kind of episodes. And if you want to dive even deeper into the darkness, join the AG Horrors family by becoming a member on YouTube or Patreon. You'll gain access to exclusive horror content, early episode releases, behind-the-scenes secrets, and special perks made only for true horror fans. You can also check out our official merch, or grab your copy of our creepy books on Amazon, perfect for those who like to keep the fear close, even after the episode ends. Thank you for being part of this journey with me. And now, turn off the lights, grab your headphones, and let's begin. They always said Snapchat was safe, the app where messages disappear, where no one could keep receipts of the dumb jokes you send at 2 a.m. when your brain's half asleep and your filter game is off the charts. I'm Marissa Hale, and for the longest time, Snapchat was my little safe corner in a chaotic world. I was 15, the typical teenager glued to her phone. Streaks with my best friend, late-night selfies turned into puppies or kittens, quick clips of my room when insomnia hit. It was normal stuff. Snapchat felt private because the messages vanished, right? That's the whole point. But apps like that don't just connect you with friends. They open doors. Doors you don't even know are unlocked. It started with a message that looked like it was from one of my closest friends. Same goofy smile emoji, same username, but off by one letter. A tiny detail you wouldn't catch unless you stared too long. The message? Simple. Why are you lying to us? My hands went clammy. Lying? About what? To who? I almost replied but deleted it before sending. Something was wrong. Like the message was fake, pretending to be real. That was the first breadcrumb. The first sign something was very, very wrong. At first I thought it was a prank. Fake accounts pop up all the time, right? But then another message came. Everyone knows what you did. My chest tightened. What did I do? I stared at the screen until the words blurred. My thumbs hovered but didn't respond. Instead, I locked my phone and shoved it under my pillow, hoping the dread would fade. The next morning, the unease was still there, waiting on my screen. This time, not words, a photo. My front yard, just before sunrise. The porch light glowing faintly in the corner, like always. But the angle was perfect. Like whoever took it had been standing right there on the street, watching. My breath caught. My hands trembled so badly I nearly dropped the phone. I told myself it was a coincidence. Maybe a Google Maps grab, maybe an old photo. But deep down, I knew better. The shadows looked fresh. The wet sheen on the asphalt had to be from last night's rain. It wasn't just a fake account hiding behind a screen anymore. Whoever this was, they were nearby. Right near me. The worst part? The account still had my best friend's face. Same emoji smile, same inside jokes in the profile. It felt like betrayal, even though I knew it wasn't really her. I wanted to tell someone, my parents maybe, but what would I say? that a Snapchat ghost account was sending me creepy messages and photos of our house. They'd probably laugh it off and tell me to delete the app. So I stayed quiet. But inside, my safe space crumbled. I started noticing little things. Blinds half open when I was sure I'd shut them. Faint gravel crunching on the driveway at night. Buddy, our dog, growling low at the front door like he sensed something I couldn't. Every Snapchat ping made my stomach flip. I wanted to throw my phone across the room, delete the app, be done. But what if they posted lies? What if they used my face and name? I felt trapped, chained to that little yellow ghost. Then came the snap that broke me. A photo taken through my bedroom window. There I was, sitting at my desk, back to the glass, scrolling homework on my laptop. The blue screen glow lit my face perfectly. Whoever took it had been standing just outside, camera steady. I dropped the phone. My body shook so violently I could barely breathe. I didn't scream, didn't move, didn't even look at the window. I froze, like an animal sensing a predator. That night, I pushed my dresser against the door, stuffed pillows into every gap in the blinds. I didn't sleep, just sat there, heart pounding, watching shadows crawl across my walls, waiting for another ping. When it came, just before dawn, it wasn't a photo, a message. Pretty when you're scared. That's when I knew. This wasn't random, not a prank. Someone was hunting me. Snapchat their mask. By the third week, I wasn't myself. My friends noticed. Mom noticed. Even teachers. I wasn't sleeping. Jumped every time someone touched my shoulder. Stopped going out at night. Worst was how I felt inside. Dirty, in my own skin. Every room felt watched. I stopped showering at night because the bathroom window was too close to the street. I stopped singing in my room, afraid someone was recording. Then one day, a sticky note under my car's windshield wiper. No name, no signature, just a sentence in smudged black ink. Why are you ignoring me? That was it. No explanation. Proof whoever'd been snapping me was close enough to touch my car, close enough to be in my driveway. I broke down, told Mom everything. Showed her snaps, photos, messages that made my blood run cold. She didn't hesitate. We called the police right there in the kitchen. They came fast, 2 officers taking notes as I retold it all. But as I spoke, I felt dread, like I was wasting breath. Like nothing they wrote could protect me from someone already inside my space. And I was right. The officer nodded, told me to block the account, said it was probably a kid pulling a prank. He laughed quietly. Then I showed him the photo, the one of me through the window. His face changed. Laughter vanished. He leaned back, cleared his throat, asked the question I'd been too scared to ask myself. Has anyone you know been acting obsessive lately? That night, patrol cars cruised past our street several times. But deep down, I knew cops couldn't stay forever. And whoever was sending those snaps wasn't done. Because the moment cruisers pulled away, my phone buzzed. Another snap. You shouldn't have told. After that, I couldn't breathe in my own house. Every corner felt wrong. Every creak sounded like footsteps. For 2 nights, I slept in Mom's room. By the 3rd night, I convinced myself maybe the worst had passed. Maybe police scared him off. I was wrong. It happened on a Friday night. I just stepped out of the shower, mirror fogged, steam curled around the light bulb. My phone buzzed on the counter. 1 new Snapchat. My stomach dropped. Hands shaking, I unlocked it. A photo of me, taken right there, in that moment, through the blurry bathroom window. Wet hair, towel barely wrapped, steam curling, and at the bottom, neon yellow text. You look better when you're scared, I screamed. Mom ran in. She saw it, the proof I wasn't imagining. She called 911 while I locked myself in the bathroom, crying, clutching my phone like a weapon. The police arrived minutes later, but by then, he was gone. No footprints in the mud, no fingerprints on glass. Just silence. Thick, suffocating silence. That night was the turning point. They finally believed me. They took my phone, made copies, started investigating. But the damage was done. Because after that night, I wasn't just a girl with an online stalker. I was a girl who knew someone had stood feet away, watching, recording, laughing at her fear. And when you've been hunted like that, there's no such thing as feeling safe again. Snapchat, my little safe corner, was deleted. Not because I wanted to, because I couldn't look at the little yellow ghost without feeling sick. The police traced accounts, followed IPs, pieced together timelines. The mask slipped. The person behind those fake usernames wasn't some stranger halfway across the world. It was someone close. Someone who knew my routines, followed me home, turned my phone into a weapon against me. When they arrested him, I thought relief would come. It didn't. Because even with him gone, his words stayed. The photos, the messages, the sound of my phone buzzing at 2 a.m. Trauma doesn't vanish like a Snapchat message. It lingers. It waits. In the dark. College was supposed to be the best time of my life. And for a while, it really was. Everything was new, raw, and full of promise. The kind of wide-open world you feel beneath your feet when you're young enough to believe anything can happen. It was 2010, right when smartphones were starting to explode everywhere, and social media wasn't just a distraction, it was the social scene. If you weren't on Snapchat, you basically didn't exist on campus. Parties, hookups, drama, fights, all played out through those fleeting 10-second snaps that vanished as fast as they appeared. At first, I resisted. I liked real conversations, real moments, but eventually, the peer pressure won. Once I downloaded the app, I understood the pull instantly. It was like a constant stream of attention and connection. The world condensed into a device I kept glued to my hand, desperate to be part of everything yet afraid of what that meant. That's how I met Bobby. I can't say exactly what drew me to her. She wasn't the loudest or most popular girl on campus, but she had this presence, sharp, confident, always laughing at the dumbest things in class. The kind of laughter that makes you forget whatever is dragging you down. I found myself drifting toward her naturally. We sat near each other in lectures, grabbed lunch between classes, exchanged Snapchats, and slowly, I fell into the orbit of her chaotic life. But Bobby was complicated. She lived in layers, always in the middle of something. Parties, random guys, endless nights that blurred into mornings. She never wore the taken sign, but she wasn't waiting around for someone like me either. I stayed in the friend zone, convincing myself it was strategic, even though every time I saw her, I felt that quiet ache, wanting more but knowing it wasn't mine to have. One night, months into this unspoken dance, I finally asked her out. Nothing crazy, just drinks, maybe a movie. She looked at me with a strange mix of pity and something like guilt, her eyes clouded from late nights and broken promises. "I'm not ready," she said. "I just got out of something serious." I smiled, nodded, and pretended it didn't hurt. But it did. After that, I pulled back. Didn't sit next to her in class. Stopped going to the parties she crashed. I didn't want to be the guy orbiting her like a sad satellite, tethered but invisible. Weeks passed, and when I finally saw her again, she looked broken. Hungover all the time, eyes dull and haunted, moving fast like she was running away from something I couldn't see. She avoided me, and I avoided her. Then, one day, out of nowhere, she cornered me between classes. Her voice was low, breath shaky. She asked why I'd been weird, why I'd disappeared. "I've been busy," I said, but she didn't buy it. Still, she smiled. Not her usual smile, the one that felt easy and light, but a forced, thin curve that sent a chill down my spine. "We should hang out," she said. "I have a surprise for you." I laughed it off, but inside, my stomach twisted. That night, she sent me a Snapchat picture of herself in her underwear. Not explicit, but intimate enough to shatter my control. My heart pounded in my chest, a mix of hope and fear that I knew I shouldn't feed. She invited me to a party that Friday. When I knocked on her dorm door, the bass was already rattling the walls. She opened the door, eyes glassy, a vape dangling from her lips, smelling like stale beer and something fruity I couldn't place. She stumbled into me, half drunk, sloppy and reckless. We drank a bit before leaving, the night already tipping over. On the drive there, she kept taking shots from a flask, then casually popped a pill I couldn't identify, chasing it with more liquor. I told myself it wasn't my place to say anything. I told myself 100 things, but I should have stopped her. The party was nothing like the campus get-togethers I knew. Mostly her co-workers from the restaurant where she worked, loud, chaotic, already wasted before the night even started. Faces I didn't recognize. People who looked like they lived for the kind of nights that swallowed you whole. Bobby was on another level, slurring her words, laughing too loud at nothing, eyes flickering with a dangerous light. At one point, she called me by her ex's name. I reached out to steady her, but she shoved me away, shouting and laughing like it was all a game. The crowd watched her unravel like she was a sideshow attraction, part horror, part entertainment. I felt like a ghost, stuck between wanting to help and wanting to disappear. When I finally convinced her to leave, she fought me, kicking and screaming, barely able to stand. Dragging her out took every ounce of patience I had. I buckled her into the passenger seat, exhausted and desperate, and then everything went wrong. The moment we pulled away, Bobby snapped. She started hitting me, not hard, but enough to throw off my focus as I gripped the wheel tight, trying to keep control. She screamed that I was kidnapping her, that I was trying to hurt her. I kept my voice calm, telling her we were going back to her dorm. She didn't listen. Her hands shot out and grabbed the steering wheel. Both hands. She yanked. The car fishtailed violently, tires screaming against asphalt, the world spinning in a blur of glass and crushing metal. Weightless. Then impact. My world shattered. When I came to, everything was a nightmare in slow motion. Blood smeared on my hands, ears ringing like a thunderstorm inside my skull, voices shouting somewhere distant. I turned my head just enough to see Bobby staggering out of the wreckage, swaying but alive, moving toward the flashing red and blue of emergency vehicles. And then she said it. "He was drunk," she slurred, pointing back at me. "He hit me. He crashed the car." The words hit me like ice. My mind raced, trying to piece it all together. Paramedics pulled me out as police swarmed the scene, their faces cold, suspicious. Bobby played the victim perfectly, and for the next 45 minutes, I was trapped in a nightmare, accused, questioned, disbelieved, barely able to breathe. They found the pills in her purse, and that shifted the tide, if only a little. It wasn't instant exoneration, but it bought me a chance to tell my side. When they finally let me go, the wreckage was still smoking behind me. My head throbbed, my body ached, and everything I thought I knew about Bobby cracked and fell apart. I cut her out of my life completely, blocked her on everything, deleted her number, severed ties with anyone connected to her. It should have ended there. But sometimes, late at night, my phone buzzes with a Snapchat notification, a name I don't recognize. No message, just the sound that I've learned to dread. And every time, I swear I feel eyes watching me through the glass, waiting for me to open it. I never do. I never thought something as stupid as putting my Snapchat in my Instagram bio would ever come back to haunt me. I mean, people do it all the time. Influencers, college kids, bored teenagers looking for validation or conversation. I get random ads constantly. Bots with weird usernames, dudes looking for attention, the occasional normal person just wanting to connect. It was harmless. At least I used to think so. The night everything started, it was a rainy Tuesday. One of those cold, soaking rains that feels angry, the kind that pools in sheets across the road and makes the streetlights look like they're melting. My friend Matt was over at my place. Both of us sprawled on the couch doing absolutely nothing important. We were scrolling, passing TikToks back and forth, talking trash about work. It was late, but neither of us felt like calling it a night. Somewhere between the memes and the silence, I got 2 Snapchat ads. back to back, both from girls. One was Casey Welsh, the other, Bree Owens. At first glance, they looked normal enough, but something felt off. Their profiles were bizarrely empty. Each had maybe 2 or 3 pictures, and nothing stood out about them. No selfies with friends, no videos, no stories. Just those generic, look at this filter type snaps you'd expect from someone who downloaded the app 5 minutes ago. But what bothered me more were their snap scores. Casey had a score barely above 200. Bree's was maybe 2,000. For anyone our age, that's weird. People who use Snapchat casually break past those numbers in a few weeks. These accounts felt brand new, freshly made. I should have ignored them, but I didn't. I added both back. Maybe 2 minutes later, Casey snapped me. Just a pitch black screen with white text. "You're cute." No emoji, no context, no introduction. My stomach tightened. It was too forward, too rehearsed. Something about it made the hairs on my arms rise. I didn't open it again. Out of curiosity or instinct, I checked Snap Map. Almost nobody leaves Snap Map turned on unless they know you. And I swear, when the map loaded, I felt something inside me sink. Both Casey and Bree had their locations on. And not only that, they were together. Their Bitmojis sat on top of each other in a moving vehicle about 10 minutes from where I lived, their little icons bobbing along the highway. Matt laughed when I showed him, but even he didn't look convinced it was harmless. "Probably catfish," he said, or like some weird group chat thing. But the uncertainty in his voice made me more uneasy. We kept hanging out for another hour, until Matt decided to dip. The rain had turned violent, pounding the pavement so hard it sounded like static. I left a little after him, heading home in the downpour. Halfway down the highway, a pair of headlights appeared behind me. Just one car. Nothing unusual at first. I wasn't speeding. Nobody else was on the road, and visibility sucked. Fog swirled in every beam of light like smoke, but the car stayed behind me, not tailgating, not passing, just matching my distance. I turned off the highway into my town. It stayed with me. Still not too weird. But when I turned onto the small residential road a half-mile from my house, the headlights turned with me. Then again when I made the next right. And again when I took the narrow street toward my neighborhood. By the time I reached my block, my hands were slick on the steering wheel. My house came into view, the porch light glowing warm, the driveway slick with puddles, and I pulled in fast, trying not to look like I was panicking. The car drove past my house slowly, too slowly. Its headlights crawled across my mirrors like searchlights, and then it stopped. Right in front of my house, just idled there. I felt every muscle in my body go tight. My ears rang with the sound of rain hammering my windshield. I didn't get out. I couldn't. Something felt deeply wrong. I opened Snapchat again, fingers shaking. Snap Map took a second to load. When it did, I swear my blood went ice cold. Casey and Bree's Bitmojis were right on top of my house. Not down the street, not nearby, directly on my house. I don't know how long I sat there breathing too fast to think. Eventually, I fumbled for my phone and called the house line, praying to God my dad wasn't asleep on the other end. He answered on the second ring. I don't even remember what I said. I know it wasn't calm. I was blurting things out, my voice cracking. He must have heard the fear, because he came outside almost immediately. The second he stepped under the porch light, the car in the street reversed slowly, then sped off into the rain. Only after it was gone did I run out of my car and into the house. I locked the door behind me. Twice. We tried to rationalize it. Maybe the accounts were glitching. Maybe the car belonged to someone lost in the storm. Maybe it wasn't what it looked like. I wanted to believe all that. Then last night happened. It was a little after 2 a.m. when I woke up. Not to a nightmare, not from tossing and turning, to a sound, a real sound, outside my window. Footsteps on wet leaves, slow, intentional. Our yard makes noise when it rains, but this wasn't wind or branches or animals. It was the heavy, deliberate crunch of someone shifting their weight on gravel. I stayed still. Completely still. Then something scraped against the side of the house. Plastic shifting. Metal rattling. They were moving the garbage bins. My heart was thudding so loud I could hear it in my ears. My blinds were half open, but I didn't dare look out. Every instinct screamed, "Don't." A voice followed. Low at first, impossible to understand under the rain, then clearer. "I know you're awake. Don't move," I almost screamed. But before I could even process that, another voice came from directly behind me, inside my room. "It's me. Don't turn around." My body locked, completely froze. The voice sounded like my dad. Same tone, same cadence, except off. Like hearing someone try to imitate him from memory. A half-second delay, or a softness that wasn't natural. And I knew my door hadn't opened. I lay there shaking, breath shallow, waiting for something to touch me. Waiting for the mattress to dip, or for the floorboards to creak, or for some shape to appear in the corner of my eye. But nothing happened. 5 seconds stretched into forever. Then a third voice, my real dad, shouted from the hallway, "Hey! They're leaving! Stay inside!" Chaos exploded outside. Footsteps scrambling, a car door slamming, tires spinning through water, an engine revving hard enough to echo down the block. My dad burst into my room a moment later, breathing like he'd run a marathon. He was real, solid, terrified. He'd heard the noise too, looked out his own window, saw a car idling in front of our house, the same one from the night before. Saw at least 2 figures near my window, another near the trash bins. He swears he saw 3 men in the car earlier. Not girls, not teenagers, not anyone who looked like KC or Bree. And as for the voice behind me, we figured out what it had to be. They were near the vent. The air returned in my wall that connects to the basement crawl space. You can't see into it, but sound travels through it like a tunnel. Someone was whispering through it, from inside our house. We didn't sleep after that, not for a second. We sat in the living room in the dark, all the lights off, listening to every shift of wind and every gust of rain until sunrise finally bled through the blinds. My dad wants to call the cops if anything else happens, and I want to too, because I can't shake this sickening feeling in my gut. Whatever those people want, they're not done. If you've made it this far, you're braver than most. Tell me in the comments, which story haunted you the most tonight? And if you had to live through just one of them, which would you choose to survive? Don't forget to drop your guess. Which story do you think wasn't what it seemed? If you enjoyed this episode, hit super thanks on YouTube or send some stars if you're watching on Facebook. It helps your comment stand out and keeps the horror alive. Want to go even deeper into the darkness? Join our YouTube membership or become a Patreon supporter to get early access to upcoming episodes, exclusive content, and behind-the-scenes horror secrets you won't find anywhere else. And if you want to keep the fear close even after the stories end, check out our official AG Horrors merch or grab your copy of our creepy books on Amazon. Don't forget to like, share, and catch up on past episodes, because the deeper you go, the darker it gets. Until the next episode, stay safe.